It's in, folks. It is in. It's clear. Rate cut for September. What do you think? The data is supporting a rate cut for September. Inflation, it's showing signs week over week, month over month that it's cooling. The consumer, you're pulling the reins back. You are not spending like you were. It's clear. The CEOs, the forward guidance, company after company after company is signaling, hey, we're not going to hit the numbers we thought. We're not going to hit the projections. And then last but not least, what Powell is really focused on, what he's going to talk about this week or been talking about, is he's not really concerned about the inflation because he says it's not where he wants it to be. He's not really freaking out about the consumer. He's not freaking out about interest rates. What he really wants to see is pain in the job market. And what did we get? The nugget of last week? Well, let's talk about it. May and June job report. Guys, what do you know happened? Oh gosh, here we go again. What do you know? They screwed up. They dropped the ball. They said, whoopsie daisies, we overreported for May and June 111,000. Not 111, not 1,100. 111,000 jobs. Again, they over-exaggerated when the number came in. And then this month, we get the jobs report out, right, again for June. Not only that, 75% of this jobs report just came out. 75, right? That 75% of these jobs are government and health. And I ranted this today on my Instagram saying, what happens when Biden, Trump, whoever the hell wins, right? One of these knuckleheads wins. What happens when they have to say, hey guys, you cannot have a $6 trillion budget and a $4 trillion income. So you can't spend $2 trillion more than you make. You got to cut back, and they stop hiring. The government stops hiring. Just look at the job numbers, take out health and government. It's total crap. It's garbage. It's not good. And so the pain's there. So everybody's now saying we're getting unemployment. We're seeing the inflation. We're seeing consumer pullback. We're seeing this in front of us. The rates are still high. You're choking people out. I don't even know how you people are surviving out there on credit card debt and home equity lines of credit, whatever it is. Renters are getting crushed, and he still has not cut. So the intel's in, the data's in. It's time to cut in September. Then he's going to cut again, probably November, December. And then in November, we're going to know who our new president is. So that is what's going on in the data. It's clear. The jobs report is glaring. Let's see what Jerome talks about over the next 2 days as he sits in front of Congress, gets grilled, gets questioned, all that. He'll only give so much, right? Because he can only talk about so many things or make the remarks. Anything that comes out of his mouth is taken. And if it's taken out of context or he says something wrong, it can make the market go this way, this way, freak people out. And we're just waiting for the rate cut because we're waiting for that psychological barrier to be broken to say, okay, he now agrees, he now believes, he's now in line with that. The data is in line with what he believes is he needs a rate cut. He is going as far and long as he can not to cut it because he's so scared inflation will rear its head and that things are going to get better again. But I don't know how you get things better than I don't know how you're going to get much better than it is now when people are full employment. When we say full employment, almost 160 million Americans are employed. And he's asking for a few million of you to get unemployed nicely. Yes, if he could say that, he would. But that is the truth. But anyways, welcome back. My name is Kenny Simpson. If we've never met, welcome. I do this weekly. We go over what's going on in the market, interest rates, inventory, any fun stuff out there, crack some jokes, give some humor. You learn something, I learn something. And if we've never met, I focus on 1 to 4 unit financing. I've been doing that for 20 years, funded a few billion, helped over 5,000 customers. I'm here to educate you, here to help you. If I can help you out, hit me up. You can go online, type in Kenny Simpson Mortgage. You can type in simpson-team.com. You can go on Google. You're going to find me, hit me up, schedule an appointment, call me, text me, email me, come by my office, whatever it is that you may need. I would love to help you out. We help first-time home buyers to self-employed home buyers to people that need to refinance, people that need HELOCs, people that need to buy investment properties. We do it all. Go check out my bio, my resume. It clearly says all the stuff we've done in real estate. And if you've been with us over and over week, thanks for showing up again. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for the support. And guys, please share this with somebody. Please like, subscribe, comment, anything. I'd love to hear from you guys. But I know you know somebody that needs to hear this. And you guys that are here week after week, you know what's next. You know what we're going to talk about next. What's next? It's inventory. How are we looking? How are we doing? Because remember, here we go off the data. Yes, we have some humor. We throw in some fun articles about personal finance or mortgage or things like that. We poke fun at Jerome Powell, maybe poke fun at these presidents, have some funny memes. At the end of the day, we're really about studying the data, helping clients figure out when rates are going to go down, when's a good time to buy, what makes sense to refi. And we're just trying to help educate you guys as much as possible and take all that clutter and all that garbage and bullshit news out there and consolidate it to have it make sense for you. Here we go with the data. So 634,132, that's 13,593 new listings, which is another week in our range of 11,000 to 17,000. That is good. Remember, we are starting to peak. Remember, we're going to peak in summer. We're going to come down and go into winter. We do this thing. This is this thing. So we're peaking usually typically June, July, we peak, and then we start coming off the high. The peak is not great. It's better than it was year over year. So we're going up. What is going on in San Diego? Why do I talk about San Diego? Because I live in San Diego. That's where I reside. That's where I'm shooting this. So I like to look at the market locally, and then we look at it as a whole across the whole nation. So locally, what is going on? We got new listings at 578, listings sold 417, and I'm sure it happened last week. And active listings 4487. Haven't even hit 5,000 yet. Boo-hoo. Not a great week for San Diego. We're actually down in the new listings 13% week over week. Listings sold up 12%, and active listings were only up 1%. Not enough. Not going to move the needle. Not going to help us out. Hey, some states have a plethora of inventory. They have more. Some states are lacking, like us. They're hurting, where you're still having overbidding, not enough inventory, that type of thing, depending on the neighborhoods and where you're at. If it's a desirable neighborhood with the schools, location, all that stuff, it is a nightmare to get a home here. So make sure you work with the right team, because we can always help out there. So I decided to do something cool. I was like, hey, we're in the mid-year here. How are we looking? Prices I hear went up. And so let's look at what the median list price is for the house across the nation, price per square foot, and the median rent. And then I said, what does that look like for San Diego again? Because I'm here. So the median list price for a house across the U.S. is $454,900. Price per square foot is $218, and then median rent is $2,400, which seems really high, right? San Diego, median list price is $1,415,000. Wow, almost $1 million more than the national average. Isn't that something? Price per square foot is $775, and median rent here is a whopping $4,000. Big cojones, $4,000. How are mortgage rates? How are we doing? Well, that's a loaded question. So as I shoot this, why don't we just go right here to the handy dandy internet? Why don't we go look at the 10-year Treasury? The 10-year Treasury sits at 4.311. Hey, I'll take that over 4.5 or 5. So the rates were a little bit higher. They come down. This week, there'll be some data. There'll be some chatter. There'll be some things that might move the needle. So why don't we look at what those things are? Because rates seem to me pretty flat, nothing major, nothing crazy. And we need to check out to see what's going on. So what is going on this week for the economic data? We've got, ready? It's a big week. We got consumer credit. We got Fed's talk, wholesale inventories. Powell talks to Congress. CPI Thursday, PPI Friday. You heard me. So we've got CPI Thursday and PPI Friday. So another big week for data. So watch rates at the end of the week. If that comes in softer, as we keep hoping for, getting close to that cut, hopefully that 10-year Treasury pulls back to something like it's 4.3 to 4.2-ish. If it starts to slide into there, we're looking good to get a lower rate cut. But if not, we are just going to be sitting here easy breezy, chilling, doing our thing. Okay, right here. If you're going to buy a home, if you own a home, if you own a commercial property, if you own a rental property, if you own real estate, if you drive a friggin' car, if I hear now you're trying to get insurance for your dog. Yes, we're talking about homeowners insurance, commercial insurance, business insurance, everything insurance. It's out of control. If you live in a state like California or Florida or some of these other states that have been affected by floods, hurricanes, natural disasters, could be fires, could be tornadoes, maybe there's earthquakes, whatever it is, we are getting hammered with insurance. And why is that? Why is insurance cost so much? Well, I was listening recently to a podcast. I read an article. I cannot remember, but I remember the number. That's since pre-pandemic now, that the cost to fix something on the average, the insurance companies are quoting, went up 31%, folks. That's 31% higher. So the insurance companies that are said, oh, here's our insurance premiums, like this is how we run our model, they are getting killed. They're losing money. They're getting crushed. They have to jack up the policies in some states like California. It's not like you just go in there and jack them up. There's political, there's BS, there's arguing, there's back and forth. Basically, there's a bunch of bullshit they have to deal with. And so we're getting whacked where insurance companies are leaving. You're getting the non-renewal. Your car insurance is going up because the cost of inflation, everything's gone up. So this is a big, big problem. People are going to get insurance quotes in their houses thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be $2,500 when it's $8,000. Then they have to go get fire insurance here in California. And then they have to go through the Cal Fire plan. And that's just another $500-$600 a month. It's crazy, guys. But that is the world we're living in. So I recommend to you, if you're buying a home, you're refining, whatever, if you haven't talked to your insurance agent, you better make that call. Especially if you're buying, be proactive, get insurance brokers, shop it around, make sure you're getting the best deal, the insurance, the coverage, all that. And there's a lot of brokers right now that are hurting. They don't have the connections, they don't have the relationships. Right now, it's about relationships the insurance person has that's getting stuff done. So the big news this week is going to be Powell's going to talk today and tomorrow. He's going to give testimony, answer questions, all that. I went over that. Why is this so big? Because we'll get a radar of what he's thinking, because they're going to grill him and they're probably going to ask him about a bunch of different things. So after this is said and done, next week and we can recap it, take some of the highlights away to see what that means. If he gives us any insight, any indication on cuts, what he's thinking. And really what we're going to be listening for is, how are you looking at the data? Are you getting nervous? Are you okay? Are you fearing some areas of the economy starting to crumble? What do you think is going to happen? And so I think it'll be really good while he gets grilled, the takeaways to see where his head's at. Because Powell right now is really controlling the interest rates, controlling a lot of the market, and we're sitting here waiting to dictate when this guy's going to pivot and make a move. And when he makes a move, look, a lot of people might not agree with it. They're going to criticize, like, it's too soon, he shouldn't do this. But if shit falls apart in 6 months, they'll be like, good job, you did this. And there's some people going to be like, it's about friggin' time, we've been waiting for this. And some people just won't know, don't care, because it's out of sight, out of mind. Maybe you own one home, you're locked in a 30-year fix, you got no other debt, you're just chilling, and you're like, I don't care. I don't even care what's going on. I don't even pay attention. I'm ready for the Olympics. I'm ready for the Olympics. Are you guys ready? Because the Olympics is right around the corner in a couple weeks. That'll be exciting. Hope you guys are checking that out. So what do I have this week? What do I have fun? What are some fun articles? What are some fun topics? What's going on out there? What can we get into? Let's look and see what is going on out there. 2024 hottest investment. Does anybody know what that is? Is it Bitcoin? Not according to this. Is it stocks? Not according to this. Is it gold? No. I know what it is. It must be silver. Nope. Rolex watches? Nope. Art? Nope. Cars? Nope. I'm not saying any of those aren't good, but according to this article, despite housing crisis, experts explain why rental properties will make you rich. Let's dive in. Buy or rent. Buy now before it cools. Here's why. What they're saying is, go buy. What are you waiting for? Buy that primary, buy the investment property before the rates go down. What do you think? Do you agree, disagree? Let's look at their thing. Strong rental market. Gen Zs prefer renting over buying. This creates a lucrative rental market. So look, this article talks about why you should buy an investment property, because so many people cannot buy now. They are renting. And when we get through this cycle of building all these apartment buildings, where it's going to be 600,000 this year, 200,000, or 600, 400, 200, 200. As we get into 26 and 27, you're going to start noticing a major decline in development, a major decline in units coming on the market, and you're going to see all these get filled up. And then what's going to happen for renters is they're winning right now, going, yay, we're getting a little pullback, we're getting a little reprieve. They never built. Look, some cities might have overbuilt, not there. But a place like San Diego, you might getting a little reprieve. But what's going to happen is all these units are going to get filled up. More people move here, more people rent. And then what happens? Supply demand happens, where rents are going to go back up, because we are just not going to be building enough units. And that's what's going to happen, because what's getting constructed now is now. A lot of land and all this stuff is being put on hold. Nobody's building because the cost, it makes 0 cents. 0 cents. And that's why we're going to be stuck here. So that is why he said Gen Z's renting over buying. This is a lucrative rental market. Consistent income, high demand and low vacancy rates ensures steady rental income. Accessible even with limited capital. Real estate can be purchased with loans and paid off with rental income. That's true. Thorough planning, research, and calculate ROI are critical for successful investments. Prime locations. Property desirable areas attract quality tenants and higher rents. Diversifying location protects against market fluctuations. I agree. Buying a rental property could always be a good time, especially in markets where you've got good job growth. Hopefully regulations aren't too crazy, but even if there is regulations, I live in San Diego, California, there's regulations. You can still do very well with rental properties here. Don't let that scare you. You just have to have the right team, know what you're doing. And on top of this, guys, if you're just in the cool neighborhood, good area, and you can buy right, even if you're breaking even now or close to cash flowing when the rates drop and you can refi, you'll probably get an equity bump and then you can get some cash flow. And eventually, over time, unfortunately, rates will probably keep going up in some of these major cities because they just don't build enough and there's no way to build because it's a pain in the ass to get this stuff done. All right, moving on. I'm a luxury real estate agent. My trick to negotiating 20% off the list price. I thought this was fascinating. I'm like, I want to learn how you as a luxury real estate agent negotiate 20% off. So if you're a first-time home buyer and you want to figure out how do I get 20% off that list price and buy that house, I wonder if this works in a competitive market, in a market where it's oversaturated. But let's take a look and dive into what this agent has to say and see if we agree or we disagree with them. Number one, read the kitchen. The kitchen is the highest value room and most costly to renovate. Agree with you there. Assess it first to determine the fairness of the list price. Okay, I like that one so far. Or you're onto something. Number two, negotiate strategy. List necessary kitchen repairs, renovation costs just to justify negotiating 10 to 20% off the asking price. Whoa! They must be not in a market where they're buying a $10 million house or a $1 million house because the kitchen does not cost $200,000. Does it? Is that what it costs? Is that what you're going to spend? Quality over trends. Focus on the quality of the kitchen materials and appliances rather than trendy looks. Poor quality can lead to expensive future renovations. I agree. Lipstick on a pig. Look, there's a lot of good, no offense, there's a lot of good flippers out there, and there's a lot of flippers that just throw shit against the wall like a lipstick on a pig. It looks good, and you get in there and the cabinets are cheapo depot, they start falling apart, they put in the shittiest low-level appliances, and next thing you know, you're a few years into the property and you're like, oh my gosh, this kitchen's falling apart, I have to replace everything, fix it. And that's why they're saying, if you see that kitchen that looks cute and charming, but you realize it's a bunch of quality shit, and you can tell the tile job is not good, the countertop, all that stuff, it's just like, not good, then you know you better ask for that reduction. Use technology. Utilizing AI and resources like Consumer Reports to evaluate the quality of kitchen appliances and potential issues. Smart. Red flags. Watch for structural and plumbing problems in the kitchen, as these can indicate broader issues and lead to consistent repairs. Absolutely. Last but not least, informed decisions. Knowledge of potential kitchen repairs helps make informed buying decisions, including when to walk away from the deal. I agree with this about the kitchen. I don't know if you're going to get 10, 20% off, but what I would do to add to that is I would also look at anything. If the roof has to be repaired, if the plumbing has to be repaired, if there's insulation issues, if there's structural issues, if there's bathrooms that are bad in the kitchens, and you're like, this is going to cost a lot of money, that's where you can go in and ask for these reductions. So kitchen is the first place to start because typically it's where you're at, spend most of your time. If it's an eyesore, it's ugly, you want to change it, and that costs money, folks. Probably just to do a basic kitchen remodel, I'm guessing these days is probably somewhere 20, 30,000 and up. So depending on your purchase price, get that off. But like I said, if there's bathrooms and other areas in the house that need attention and love, go ask for that money back too. So millennials, what are you guys worried about? What are you focused on with this election? And you know what this article says is you guys are worried about housing because you got to have a place to rent, you want a place to buy, and both of them to you is like, this is a bunch of BS, it's unaffordable, doesn't make sense, and which one of these presidents can help me? I even mentioned on the debate, I did not hear enough about housing. I did not hear their policies. Yeah, I know Joe mentioned something about I'm going to build 2 million houses. Really, are you? Because you haven't done SWAT. Or hey, I gave $10,000 to first-time homebuyers. That's not helping, guys. If you get $10,000 and no house to buy, all you're doing is stimulating the economy with more money that we don't have to give people to buy houses that don't exist and to inflate prices. So we would rather you just take the money and give it to builders and help them build and just give us a reasonable product so we can go out there and get these rates down and help people buy. Not give us money where we might even be able to use it. Right? Housing prices for young voters. High mortgage rates and home prices are a major concern for young voters, with the issue expected to persist for years. Depressed home sales. Home sales activity is a 30-year low. That means there's just not enough home sales. Doesn't mean the market's crashing. It's just there's no sales because everybody's locked on these low rates, impacting overall economic activity related to home sales. Local policy impact. Local, county, state policies are more influential on housing prices than federal, which have shown limited progress. Absolutely. In San Diego here, you can't even build shit. It takes forever. It's slow. There's red tape. It's annoying. So if we can't build here, the existing stuff that sits here, it's basically going to sell for more, and you're going to pay more for that because there's no product, right? So you're getting crushed. If they would just help build more affordable housing and things like that. But how do you do that in a place like San Diego when you can't even get things through the city within, just to get plans and permits takes a couple years sometimes. It's crazy. Inventory and mortgage lock-in effect. Slow inventory growth and the mortgage rate lock-in effect are significant barriers to improving the housing market. Absolutely. The lock-in effect is killing it. Let's just stop there. How are you going to fix that? I don't know. Biden administration efforts. Despite recent federal initiatives to improve housing access and affordability, prices remain historically high, and meaning rate declines are expected to take time. Absolutely. Whoever's in the office, doesn't matter. Printing money, giving money away to people to go buy houses is not the issue. You need to get interest rates down. You need to get inventory up. You need to get these buyers that are locked in effect to start doing move-up houses and stuff like that. So how are you going to do this? I don't know. You got to figure it out. But sitting here doing the same thing over and over ain't working. And last but not least, for all you first-time home buyers, I thought this is a great article to go through. Let's talk about how much a typical first-time home buyer puts towards a down payment and where they get their money. So the median down payment first-time home buyer typically makes, so the median down payment is typically around 8%, the highest since 1997, primarily using savings. Okay, savings account, good to know. Number 2, funding sources. 71% use savings, 19% use gifts, and 11% financial assets like stocks and bonds to fund their own down payments. Obviously, gifts are from parents, relatives, so that is true. Depending on the state, that number is definitely way higher. Higher incomes. In 2022, the typical first-time homebuyer household income of $96,000, up from $71,000 in 2022, enabling a larger down payment. Market challenges. Higher home prices and interest rates making home ownership challenging. Lower down payment options exist, but will come with risk. 100% agree. The market challenge, it's all true. With the higher prices, higher rates, it's very challenging. Low buyer share. First-time home buyers constitute 32% of this year, up from 26% last year, but still below the average of 38%. Comparison with repeat buyers. First timers rely on more savings and gifts, while repeat buyers use proceeds from the previous sales. I agree with that. Potential risk. Mortgage with low or no down payment can lead to affordability issues, as seen in the 2008 foreclosure crisis. 2008 foreclosure crisis. I don't know if that was for affordability issues rather than just shitty loans to people that shouldn't have bought them, teaser rates, just a whole big mess. So right now you got to qualify, 30-year fixed. And yes, rates are higher. Affordability is tough. But these are great challenges and knowing where the money comes from. So look, you guys are mainly saving it up, putting it down. That's awesome. One thing I will say, if you are a first-time home buyer watching this, or if you're trying to get more money, what I've seen that's really creative is getting a side hustle for a year or two, whether that's delivering food, selling stuff on the internet, driving Uber, things like that. Working a part-time job, taking all that money, saving it, banking it, and go buy your house for the down payment. And then you go back to your regularly scheduled life in your job, but you just made that one-time sacrifice to get into that house or to buy an investment property. Anyways, guys, that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching this week. If I can help you, remember, reach out to me anytime. Have a great week. Until next time, I will talk to you soon. But next week, stay tuned because there's going to be lots of rate breakdown of what Jerome Powell is saying. Let's see if we're going to get that rate cut in September. Stay tuned.